Hello students, welcome to module number 7 of the 10 we have created in the series All Things Finance. Today's topic, how does the RBA decide the cash rate? As finance students, we all know that the RBA is the Central Bank of Australia, providing services to the government. It also has the power to govern monetary and banking policy. RBA has 3 objectives, and they are: number 1, to ensure the stability of the Australian currency; number 2, the maintenance of full employment in Australia; and number 3, the economic prosperity of the people of Australia. The RBA policies these objectives by controlling the cash rate, the rate at which institutions borrow and lend from one another. The RBA has held the cash rate at 1.5% for almost over a year now. This module will look at the economic conditions of Australia in order to predict whether the cash rate will be changed or not at the upcoming RBA meeting, in order to give you a better understanding of how the RBA determines the cash rate. Let's look at some factors that are affecting the current state of Australia's economy that will have a big effect on the decision.
Firstly, we look at inflation. The inflation rate indicates the purchasing power of the consumer, which is relevant to income rate and products price. One of the main pressure to the inflation rate is the natural disaster happened recently, the cyclone. It destroyed a lot of unharvested farming products. This raised the fruits and vegetable prices, but since the fuel price was cut, it could stop them from rising aggressively. Another factor was that construction growth didn't go at the same pace as it was before. The last factor that tries to stop inflation rate from increasing at the acceptable pace is the consumer's confidence level. From the first quarter of 2017, the level keeps decreasing slowly, swapping with going sideways along the figure. However, one of the factors of the inflation rate advancement was the GDP result from the first 3 quarters, which was increased along the period. Furthermore, rising of the GDP rate of the third quarter compared to the last year, 2016, was higher than 1.8% thanks to the household consumption. This made the household saving rate decline to cause the inflation rate to be unsustainable. Moreover, there is a sign of the government to wrap it up against the economic pace since the federal budget this year has shrunk to 4-year low.
Housing debt is another major factor that affects cash rate, since home loan is the largest bank lending in the bank product. The current low cash rate makes and low interest rates in the bank, which encourage people to borrow money for buying their house. However, less people get a home loan for their first house. Why did that happen? The current low interest rate is not benefit for the bank savers, so the people who have extra money would rather invest in property to gain more money. More and more people buying house, which makes a housing bubble in the current market. As we can see in this graph, the housing bubble makes the house price keep increasing. It's even higher than our income level. So we would recommend RBA to keep in this low cash rate or even lower the cash rate.
Thirdly, we'll examine consumption within Australia. The rate of overall consumption within a country is a big indicator of the health and prosperity of an economy. In Australia, consumption makes up 2/3 of the economy, while one of the 3 largest sectors of consumption is the retail industry. The retail industry has been suffering within Australia. Profits from sales are on a downward. A major reason for this is the decrease in disposable income per household. This is attributed to the rise in prices of other sectors such as healthcare, education, childcare, and electricity. As a result, the everyday Aussie would opt to decrease their non-essential spending within the retail industry. This results in the economy struggling. Another major reason why consumption is down is due to the lack of wage increase per household. In Australia, growth has been stuck at about 2% per year for the last 3 years. Let's keep in mind how much expenses in Australia have grown in the last decade. Along with the housing price hikes, is a 2% annual wage growth enough? By the looks of things, it's not. Australians need to free up some cash in order to spend some more and feed this back into the economy. One way the RBA can make sure this happens is by lowering the cash rate. Lower cash rate means lower cost of debt, means higher disposable income, means more consumption, and a better economy. Having had a good analysis of some current factors affecting the Australian economy, it seems as though that the best decision is to further lower the cash rate by 25 basis points to support the slow yet sustainable growth of the Australian economy. Thanks for listening to module number 7. You'll be hearing from us same time next week.